Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to make some backgrounds, and this is one of my most fun things to do with these. Now look, this is separated. You can see there is all your sparkle in the bottom of the pot. So again, all you're going to do to wake that up is to give it a swirl, get those ball bearings working around it, but look at that. You can see that glitter just dispersing in the ink in the pot. Make sure, have a check, turn it upside down, have a check, make sure you've got it all clear. And yeah, that's pretty good. And we're good to go. So we're just going to do a very, very simple 3 colour ombre. So I'm going to use the Moonstone, which is gorgeous. And I have got the Rose blush here, which is a beautiful pale orange. And we are going to use, oh, what colour did I pick up? Cosmos. That's lovely. That's a really pretty pink to make a wonderful ombre straight onto dark card. So again, let's just clean my brush. There we go. Nice and clean. And we're going to go straight in. And this for me is why I love these, because instead of trying to make your beautiful detail pen, squeezing it out and then maybe wasting some ink because you can't use it all, what we're able to do here is to just use the amount of ink that we want. And of course, if you're going over the edge, you can always have another piece of card. Now look at this, let's go. And this, remember, is blending on dry card, and we've got this really, it's such a pretty delicate orange. Absolutely gorgeous. And the thing is, now you're able to do larger backgrounds, you can cut them down. So let's say you wanted to do one whole background like this, but you may then want to chop it into pieces so that you can use it on other things. But look at the coverage that I'm getting. It is gorgeous. And when you see the dispersion that you also get in terms of the sparkle, it's lovely. Now, life does not get simpler than this. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to dry this a tiny bit with my heat gun so that you can see the sparkle. Whilst this is wet, you will not see the sparkle, but trust me, when it's dry, you absolutely will. So, not completely dry, but it's dry enough for me just to pick up, and hopefully you can see not only do we have an incredible ombre of colour, but we have that beautiful even sparkle all the way over. Okay, when you've got it like that, you can also do some faux bleaching. So I'm literally just going to dip my hand into this nice icy cold water that I've got by the side of me and just flick some water on the card. And you can see immediately that that water is starting to react with the card. And as I leave it on there longer, it's beginning to react more and more. I'm just having a look to see what I did with my kitchen towel. Aha, I've just seen it. I'm just going to grab a piece of kitchen towel whilst we look at that, and then I can just damp some of that off. The colour is absolutely beautiful though. So then let's get our kitchen roll. And just look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? So when you've got the right watercolour product, which isn't going to split, and you've got beautiful watercolour card, you're going to be able to do effects like this with ease. I think that's stunning. Imagine now stamping onto that with your silhouette stamps. It is going to look incredible. So we're going to stay with the 3 colours that I used for that beautiful ombre background. What you'll have noticed is I have put the lids back on the pot and just given them a swirl again. And what I want to do is just wet this card. Now that water's getting a bit gloopy, but it'll be fine. It'll be fine. It's just a hint of a tint of colour. That's not a problem. So what we're going to do is now use the pipettes to control the ink and what you can do with it. So I'm drawing up a tiny amount, and of course the higher you splat those inks, the more of a splatter. If I do them close by, you'll get a different look. And you can see, you can start to play. If you've got too much in there, you can just put it back into the pot. Now let's get some of this wonderful orange and start to splat these colours. Now, if you're liking what you're doing, the whole point of these is to play and have fun. So I'm going to just spritz even more water onto those and let these drift and travel and start to get those colours mixing. And then what I'm going to do is dry this off a wee bit, and then we're going to add some pink. And this is the thing, you could just play. You will find that you will make backgrounds that you absolutely love, and what will happen is you won't want to use them. And that's fine. Just try and remember what it was you did with them, and you'll be able to recreate something similar. You know, this is the fun of these. These backgrounds become totally unique, totally yours. Whether you're using them for a card project, or whether you're using them for, maybe you're going to do some calligraphy on top of them as well. It's entirely up to you. So we'll just give that a bit of a dry. Do you know, I might even add some soft jade into that, because I do love that colour. Okay, so we're just going to add a wee bit of this soft jade colour in. And again, I don't want to add too much, but just the occasional splat of colour. And then we're going to make that travel by just, look at that go. Isn't that gorgeous? So you can start to really play with this. I love that. Absolutely love that. Those colours are incredible, aren't they? You can start seeing your own pictures in these, whether you're using these just to stamp on top of, or whatever you want to do. Like that a lot. And then finally, I'm just going to grab a bit more tissue, take some of the colour off, and then we're going to add a wee bit of pink. But do play, have a play. There we go, look at that. You can almost faux bleach some of that colour away. And then what we're going to do is finally add some shocking pink to this as well. And I just want to turn this round, and I just want to, and you can see where that paper is wet, it's just travelling down. This would look great with some fairies maybe stamped on top of it, to have a really mystical, magical background. So I like that. I love that. That looks like, to me, that almost looks like some mystical flowers. It's almost like an impressionist view. So what we can do with this is we can trim it down and pop a fairy on top of it, and you've got a topper ready for a card. And there, if I hold that, it's still a bit damp, but hopefully you can see some of the sparkle. All ready for stamping. All right, so we've now trimmed our piece of card down, and you have to say that is looking good. That is just looking perfect for the Enchanted Flower Fairies, which I'm going to stamp with. So I've got some of Sarah's Enchanted range, and I've got that lovely fairy with the toadstool. And we are going to just pop her just there, and I'm using my black waterproof ink, so we're going to just cover that stamp, and my fairy is then going to sit about there. There we go. And then maybe we will just put a word, magic. Or it may be make a wish. We'll see when I've got it inked up just on the side. But this is the fun of it. You can have fun playing with it. Maybe you're going to get backgrounds that you love. Maybe you'll get something that perhaps isn't working the way you want. But in fact, this one says twinkle. How perfect is that? And we're just going to pop that down on the side there. And there you go. You've got a topper ready to go on a card. One of my absolute favourite backgrounds to do is to use salt, and it's one of those that we talk about a lot but we don't have time to show you what we mean. So I've got a piece of watercolour card here. I'm just going to use my water spritzer bottle just to make the card nice and damp, and this is the amethyst colour. This is in the Glitz and Glamour set. I have to say it is a complete favourite. Give it a swirl and wake up the glitter. Oh, but you wait till you see this colour, and you need to use just the tiniest amount. So, tiny amount on the brush. Now look at this colour travel. Oh my word. It is the richest colour that you can get. And you can see that colour just travelling down, and we're going to pop some more. Again, oh, there's a load of colour on that. I don't need anywhere near that. But this is the advantage for me for using the pots as for your backgrounds, is that you can control the amount of ink, so you're not wasting any. And of course you're getting 4 times the amount of ink as you get in your detail pens. Now, there, that's done. That's ready to go. Get yourself a huge big tub next time you're shopping, of course, sea salt. And all we're going to do is just drop it on your card. Now you'll be able to see that that is beginning, if I leave it just there, it's beginning to soak up the colour. But what you can do is make sure that salt is really wet. So again, we're going to really encourage that ink to move and the salt to suck up the colour. And we're just going to leave that, and I'm just going to let you see what happens as that colour intensifies and the salt just begins to draw it up, and you get these beautiful, beautiful, almost coral-like cells begin to appear. I'm going to pop some on the darker areas too. There we go. And of course it is entirely up to you how much or how little you use. Now what you're going to do is you are going to slide that onto a piece of kitchen towel and let this particular one, dry naturally. So, you know, if you're going to use them the next day, do these just before you go to bed, and then they've got all overnight to sit there and dry. So let's just move that off. We're going to pop that there, and then we can come back to that when that one's dry. So we've left this to dry, and this was one that I did yesterday, and you can see it's dried, and you can see I have all the salt there, but look at those fabulous shapes we've got underneath. So what you're going to do when you've got it like this is you're simply going to rub to release the salt. So if you want, of course, you can keep that salt. It's great for your shaker cards because, of course, it's not going to get all staticky. And look at the colour, isn't that beautiful? And again, this was using that fantastic amethyst colour. But take a look at that background. You just get the most incredible, it's almost like coral forms with this. Stunning, just simply stunning and ready to use.